You know, it's sort of like Joe Louis saying, well, my left hook really isn't as good as my right cross. This man is such a perfectionist. You don't realize it, right? You see him up on stage, and he's casual. He tells a few jokes here and there, and he does the things that you've heard on the record very often. Occasionally he does new things. And every once in a while he gets apologetic like this. What you don't realize that he's a total perfectionist when it comes to music. He is all business when he rehearses. He demands out of his musicians and out of himself much more. He has much more discipline than most of the other artists that I know.
I try not to come down too heavy, though, you know, like.
Well, yeah, but that's why this man can be as consistent as he is.
Musicians have to be in by midnight.
Curfew. Huh? Vince Lombardi of popular music, right?
Right, yeah.
Right, and that'll cost you $1,000. You were out 11:02 last night.
They have Rice Krispies every morning.
Red Shay and Rice Krispies, right?
Rice Krispies, yeah, and white sugar.
Sure. Every caller agrees that the concert was terrific, but too much Peter, Paul, and Mary and not enough Lightfoot. Judy Harris wants to hear Softly. Brendan and Bill Lewis want to hear The Mountains of Marianne. We had a request for
I tell you, though, I gotta take him to task on that because, you know, I'm really like happy to be on that show with them, you know, because they're doing it for, like, to help me, you know.
Oh, well,
and they're quite capable of carrying the whole thing, and they're having me on the show.
That was very generous
to help me, and I don't think it was. I mean, like, it was. The time was short, but I mean, it was up to us to fill it up as best we could. I was quite happy with it. I don't feel any animosity about it.
I'm sure.
I'm just happy to be working with them because I love them, you know.
Yeah, your fans do.
They're about the first one, you know, like been listening to them ever since Lemon Tree, like everybody else, and I just think they're out of sight, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, like, it really, you know. I mean, when they're up on stage,
right.
I mean, like, you know, it's a...
No, I don't want... Look, we do not want to embarrass Mr. Lightfoot. I just repeated what some people called. So, and I do not want to embarrass Peter, Paul, and Mary. I don't think it's possible, quite frankly.
Thank you for bailing me out of that one.
And, no, I kind of have made it obvious on this program, which is my thing, right? We have a dumb habit of being a little blunt. We like to be diplomatic, but they're not exactly my favorite group. And this is personal. You don't have to say a word, Gordy. I'm very glad that they had the grace to invite Mr. Lightfoot to be on their concert at the Bowl. As far as our people were concerned, however, it was the Gordon Lightfoot concert, and they were the second act. And that's the way it stays, pal, and there's nothing you can do about it except, you know, sing badly or write badly, and, you know, you don't do that. This is KRHM Los Angeles. Incidentally, you can help me with something. You know the sound we had out at the house in Pasadena?
Yeah.
It's pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you should hear it in the new house. The speakers that you heard were rectilinear loudspeakers, and they've been sponsoring this last hour. And I'm just glad that you were able to say something nice about them, because I'm going to have to say a lot of things about them later on.
It would have been quite a Sunday afternoon out there, as I recall.
Well, listen, the first time that you came out, it was the first time you had heard the third album. You hadn't heard the whole mix with the strings before, right?
That's right, yeah.
So you heard it on...
I heard it on the system.
On the system over there. So, you know, there wasn't anything you could hide because that system gives it all to you.
Mm-hmm. And, doesn't miss a thing.
Doesn't miss nothing. Good, bad, or indifferent. It tells you the truth, which is the general idea. Look, it is always an imposition, friends. This is a man who sings in concert. How many concerts a year, Gordy?
There's about 60 or so.
60 concerts a year. And he just did one last night, Los Angeles being one of his favorite cities. A lot of people don't know that Gordon Lightfoot's first engagement at the Troubadour in April of 1967 was not his first visit to Los Angeles. How long did you spend at the Art Students League? Art Students, whatever that school is over there?
In Westlake College?
Was that where it was?
Yeah,
Oh.
that was in '58. I left Orillia, Ontario, when I was about, well, I got to give my age away now.
He's
When I was
12.
18, and I came out to Los Angeles at that time. I lived for 14 months on North Alta Vista Boulevard,
I
and
went to school.
it was the worst 14 months of my life. I'll never forget it.
Cold
not-
Hands from Los Angeles.
Not
huh?
not one time in the whole 14 months could I find anyone to love me.
Isn't that strange? I'll tell you, the first time I came out
I used to be
here.
a real, I was a hillbilly though then. So.
Yeah, no. Well,
Still am. I'm trying to shake it desperately, but I'll never be able to.
yes,
I
would
keep
tear
a-
the threads away.
gotta
so I
scrape
could bleed
my,
some more. It's a hillbilly line. It's hillbillies write lines like that. Yeah, go ahead, Gord.
You know, it's a
Yeah.
funny thing.
No, this town, when I came out here in 1946, the first time I was with Armed Forces Radio Service. I'm giving my age away, but then again, it's no secret. And I had always, wherever I'd gone else, and I'd gone a lot of places else, I'd always felt, that friends were something that was easy to make if you're willing to be friendly, right?
Mm.
And I was raised in around Philadelphia, which is not considered a particularly friendly city. It's a clannish city. The new people are the
There's a
people
lot
who've
of
lived
railroad
15 years.
tracks around there, though.
Philadelphia, yes. A lot of railroad tracks and row houses and things
Yeah.
like that. But it's a nice town, actually, to live in. Although I wouldn't want to visit there. And then I lived in and around New York in the village and what have you. But anyhow, I came out here and I wrote a letter home to some friends and I said, for the first time in my life, I'm in a town where I actually feel that someday I'm going to walk down Hollywood Boulevard and somebody's going to walk through me because I don't feel like I'm here. Nobody seems to know I'm alive.
Mm.
And I said, this is the coldest town I've ever been in.
Yeah, it's really strange.
And yet, when I came back out in '57, and since then, this has been our home, our refuge, and it's full of the warmest, loveliest people we've ever known in our lives. And I would never go back to New York in a million years. And this is where it is. So here you came out in '67, and you walked into the Trube, and you didn't know what the hell was going to happen. And you found that you had...
Well, I know. I remember I had a full house on opening night, which was and I remember that I was quaking in my shoes about it.
Well, I told you, I
I saw
said, for that cocktail party that was thrown, and they had some press over there, and Gordy got up and sang a few things. He was really uptight, and I said, look, this is the toughest audience you're going to have to face because these people really don't know who you are. I said, from here on in, you might as well be in Toronto, because I said, this place is going to be full of people who know every note you have ever recorded and love you. And he opened up, and I'm very proud and I'm very thankful to all of you out there, who are Lightfoot fans, because one of the nicest things you can do as an audience, if you really care about something, is recognition, applause at the beginning of a song. It's always exciting, right?
Yeah.
And the thing that was most exciting, and I've never seen it happen anywhere else, is that Gordy would get like 3-4 notes into the guitar introduction to a song, and the recognition applause would start, right? And then I remember the second set on your first night. I didn't catch the first set because I was doing this thing. I went over there, and Gordy sang a few songs, and he said, I really, in between a couple numbers, he said, I really don't know what to do. And some very bright girl sitting over by the wall at the Trube said, just stand there.
Oh, God. Jeez.
But
Okay.
anyhow, it was a triumph of your good taste and Mr. Lightfoot's.
She was looking at the black head on my nose.
Couldn't be seen. Couldn't be seen. The lights aren't that good. But that reminds me. I'll tell you later. Okay. You gonna sing anymore? No? Yes?
No, I think just about...
All right. Dear Hearts, now everything that's been asked for is something that's on record, and we'll play from the records later on, but we really do have to get back into the request thing because, incidentally, of course, we're full up on requests, and we aren't going to be able to get everything in tonight. We've had very special occasions. We had Van Dyke Park's new record with the Aristide... André de la Bastide Steel Band.
Wow.
We had that right at the beginning of the show. We had Van Dyke on, which is something we've been trying
Did
to
he do a thing with a steel band?
Yes, he did.
Wow.
Wow, it's on that tape.
Yeah.
We'll play for it. And then we had Gordy here. So it's been a picnic for us, and I hope for you. Meanwhile, here is for Don Marmee from Terry. Here is Mr. Alan Price, Randy Newman's Living Without You.